Can you tell the story of how Al Ries and his collaborator, Jack Trout, first became interested in this idea of positioning?
It is a great story. I mean, my dad was, kind of one of the madmen of Madison Avenue, as well, Jack Trout, in the 60s. And, he worked in PR and at advertising agencies. And very early on, he struck out to start his own agency. The problem that they faced was how do they build their agency, right? They were trying to make a mark. And that's where the first idea of positioning came about, was how do we differentiate our agency. And it was at that time, the big word around, Madison Avenue was David Ogilvy and creativity. And it was said creativity could do the job of 10 ads, if you had one creative one. And the entire focus on the industry was over creativity. And what they thought about was initially was the rational approach. And then my dad had the idea to call it the rock. So every ad had to have a rock. And what that rock was an, indisputable idea, something that the mind wouldn't challenge. So he was starting to get into the notion that it wasn't just what you're communicating, but the most important thing was getting in the mind. Most advertising today is puffery and claims that we're the best this and the best that. Is that believable? No, when you say it, it's not believable at all. But for one client, was Uniroyal had the most patents ever, right? I mean, that was not disputable. People actually believe that. Or when you say, you don't do something, that's also very believable. So this idea of the rock, they kind of threw around, and it was actually Jack who said, why don't we call it positioning or a position? And Al thought that was a great idea, so they renamed it positioning, and started writing articles and doing speeches. And really, the big break was when my father was giving a speech where Rance Crane, the owner and editor of Advertising Age, or the Bible of the industry, especially back then, loved the speech. And he said, Al, like, how about you write an article? And my father was like, great. I mean, and in fact, it was a series of 3 articles. And that really, blew everything up. And what did it do? It created a lot of controversy. All the creative people said, what are these crazy, positioning guys talking about? And it was this battle between, positioning focused, approaches to marketing versus creative only approaches. And, I think positioning did a very good job and along in that battle. And most companies today, that word positioning is used around the world.